Welcome to Spirit Call Out, where Spirit delivers personal messages meant to reach you. Join me, Dr. Sean Marie Higgins, as I bring forth a message right now, along with teachings and guidance for everyone. This next message might just be for you. Hello, this is Sean Marie Higgins here for another episode of Spirit Call Out. Spirit Call Out is where I call out messages of spirit to you. This is a continuation of the last episode of Spirit Call Out, episode 13, titled The Neurosurgical Angel. You will also find my sketch of this Neurosurgical Angel spirit on my website. I want to briefly announce that I am in the process of relaunching a new website and setting this podcast up, along with more of my writings and publications on psychic mediumship, interdimensional communication, energy healing, and more on Substack. That link will be announced when it's launched. So we're going to pick up where we left off with our Neurosurgical Angel in episode 13. So please listen to that if you have not, because this angel gives more insight into a technique that she taught us regarding the merging of the heart and the brain, the energy merging of the heart and the brain. You will need to listen to that to fully understand this added insight and information to that technique. The technique in episode 13 is preparatory for another technique that she gives us today, later on in the podcast, that utilizes crystals. So first, I'm going to recap the first technique, but mind you, it will not replace listening to that full episode 13 after the recap and added insight and information that is very important. It's really important to know that the spirit added insight and information. After I recap that and add the information, we'll go to the next technique with crystals. And she gives, again, as the spirits do, she gives so much more information that will have to be put in another episode. But for now, let's continue on with this one. So just to recap a little bit, in September of 2025, a woman neurosurgeon appeared to me for the first time in green surgical scrubs, playing a large white crystal singing bowl. She was symbolizing the need for both scientific medicine and the healing powers of sound. She communicated this to me because I am both a medical doctor and a sound healer, and my specialty is cranial and neuroanatomy, and she's a neurosurgeon. So this, she says, was very complimentary. I'm also a psychic medium and not afraid to speak it out. She felt it was a really good pairing of her and I to be able to bring this information forward. She says she was not like me at all while she was still in living body. But she is now that she's able to see that the worlds of scientific medicine and sound healing should not be separated. So in other words, she's telling me that she was not into energy healing or even really thinking about it when she was in living body as a physical neurosurgeon. She was open to it, but she didn't even know to be open to it. She simply says she only knew of the physical surgical aspect of neurology. And she was very kind and loving. That she did have. She had loving intention. And she didn't realize it at the time, but that was actually healing her patients on another level, an energy level that she didn't realize was happening. And when she crossed over to the spirit world, she was able to become aware of all of the power she had with loving intention that actually embedded the effort she did as a physical surgeon with traditional medical knowledge. The love she had in her heart embedded the physical surgery and treatment plans that she formed for her patients physically. So she did not realize she was doing energy healing as a physical surgeon. She does now. So when true healing happens, the two come together. So she's saying the true healing happens when the two, sound and science, are blended together. Crystal singing bowls and meditation can support healing for neurological and neurosurgical conditions. However, she also talks about a more powerful way to activate crystals, more powerful than using a wand on a crystal bowl. That is what we'll do today after I recap the last technique, utilizing meditation and sound. So She highlighted two different ways of healing at her original encounter with me. One is meditation with sound, and that prepares us for crystals with sound. So, healing with meditation and sound, and healing with crystals and sound. We must first balance the mind and consciousness with meditation and sound in order for crystals to have their fullest effect on our healing. This neurosurgeon performed physical surgery during her physical lifetime, and now she's capable of knowing how to do energy surgery. She's just telling me this new information that there is energy surgery, which she says is safe for all of us to learn as long as we have some physical medical knowledge of some specialty along with a true heart. And I believe she's going to go into this a little bit further in the podcast. So I am recapping a healing technique from last time, and I am presenting a new one that I sort of made a template of sketches and notes for. But she's kind of coming in during this podcast and sort of filling in the blanks as we go. So please bear with me if I repeat her messages, because that means she's repeating them to me and I'm just letting out what she is wanting to convey. So she comes in with an energetic neurosurgical perspective. That's what she's doing today. She's taking her physical neurosurgical perspective and now adding to it the energetic neurosurgical perspective that she can do now as a spirit. It makes sense that she merged the heart and the brain with meditation last time, because those are two of the three brains in the physical human body, and she's a neurosurgeon. We have heart neurology, we have gut neurology, and we have brain neurology. The three brains are the cranial brain in the head, the heart brain, and the gut brain. In episode 13, which was the last episode again, she taught us an energy technique that energetically, surgically merged the head brain with the heart brain. Physically, this would not be possible or even compatible with life, but there is so much more we can do on the energetic level, she says. With her physical neurosurgical training and experience as a human being, now passed over into spirit form, she can bring both perspectives, both physical and energetic, to the neurosurgical specialty. So let's recap with this neurosurgical angel presented in episode 13. It was a meditation-based healing technique designed to align the heart and brain that is to be done to prepare you for the crystal healing to come next at the later part of this podcast. This technique will help us feel the energy alignment of the two, of the heart and brain, of emotions and cognition, of love and thinking, of intuition and intelligence. This will help give us clarity, guidance, and alignment with one's true heart desires. The heart pumps our blood. The heart pumps our desires. Physical function of the heart, energy function of the heart. Desire is the blood of our energy body, and red blood cells and plasma make up the blood of our physical body. True desires are the ones that we may not even consciously know of because they're for our highest value. So this technique blends the heart's expertise in holding the intelligence of desire and purpose to its highest value, and the brain's expertise in providing the structure and pathways for those desires to be expressed and manifested in a grounded, physical way. So we're merging heart energy with brain energy. We're holding emotion and desire to the standard of its true quality and then expressing that into our life experience with the logical, cognitive capability of the actual brain. So merging energy, physical, heart, and brain. By bringing the two into alignment, the individual becomes more capable of recognizing what they truly want and how to move forward. So your true desires will surface when you're using this method. We don't always know what we want. If we get down to the core of what it is that we all desire, it's love, it's purpose. And as ego conscious beings with an ego conscious mind, it's hard for us to always know what's for our highest value. And it doesn't matter if we can think it. All that matters is that we create it with the heart's way merged with the brain's way. So just trust the process and know that it will propel you forward into creating a situation that is for your highest value. And that may include healing, that may include changing a life career, that may include relationship balance and resolution. Healing comes in many ways. It's not just the physical body that heals, it's the life experience that heals, it's relationships that heal, it's everything. So, this technique also has direct physiological effects. This mind and heart blending also has direct physiological healing effects, particularly on the central nervous system. Heart and brain merging calms the physical nervous system. It calms and balances parasympathetic and sympathetic activity, which in turn supports the cardiovascular system and endocrine system, ultimately contributing to whole body healing on the physiological level. Even without focusing on manifestation or intention, even if you left that all out of it and just did the meditation with true intention of just healing and being present, the act of performing the technique itself is considered beneficial simply as a healing practice to the central nervous system, which in effect really is the core of healing of the entire body. Now, parasympathetic and sympathetic activity involve the entire nervous system, really, not just the central nervous system, but also the peripheral nervous system, because cerebral spinal fluid doesn't just circulate within the central nervous system. It takes everything we think, do, intend, all of it, it takes it out into the periphery. I teach the physiology and neurology and neuroanatomy of all of that. But just for now, know that cerebral spinal fluid fluctuates to the entire body through all the cells as well, not just the central nervous system. So, what you do to the central nervous system energetically and physically translates into the periphery of your body automatically and autonomically. The sympathetic system is the fight or flight system, just in case you're not familiar. The parasympathetic system is the rest and digest system. The body needs both. So a balance between the two is what we strive for, and that's what this technique does. And there is always a continual balance going on. It's never static, it's never just done, it's never equal and just simply healed. Healing is a state of balance. It's not simply being like, oh, I'm healthy and that's it, or I've achieved health. Health is a balance. It's a state of balancing back and forth. It's a state of resilience, recovering. It's an alternating state of being. It's a seesaw continuously balancing, continuously fluctuating, just like everything else in the body, just like everything else within the earth, of the earth, and in the solar system and the universe. With regards to the parasympathetic innervation, there is a lot of hype on the vagus nerve. However, the vagus nerve is not the only parasympathetic nerve. The vagus nerve is a very big one. However, there is more to the parasympathetic nervous system than just the vagus nerve. Again, I teach courses on this. I teach medical school on this. And then on the energy piece of it, I teach this in my classes on sound healing and energy healing and mediumship. So just know I have courses and workshops on this. But just know it's not just the vagus nerve. There's more to the whole body, to parasympathetic innervation. So, at its core, the method of the heart brain merging is a meditative process of internal awareness and embodiment. So, this is important because it's not done visualizing from an external perspective. What I mean by that is during meditation or visualization techniques in general, we tend, some of us, to visualize ourselves on something like a screen in front of us on the back of our eyelids. When we close our eyes, we visualize a picture of ourselves in front of us or on the back of our eyelids. But here, I want you to emphasize with this heart brain merging technique that we did last time, and we're going to recap again. But here, what I want you to do is actually embody it within you. So if you automatically default to the screen and see yourself on a screen, just simply allow it to come forward until it merges with your body and feel and embrace the experience within your own body. Just keep pulling yourself back in if your brain defaults to that visualization of yourself on a screen. Embodying the experience is another thing that I teach in another workshop, emphasizing the interoceptive aspect of manifestation. There's the interoceptive aspect of it versus the projected aspect of manifestation. Here we want to do the interoceptive. The projected aspect is oftentimes a limiting factor or a slowing factor in manifesting our desires because it doesn't actually include embodying the experience within your body. Our neurosurgeon angel emphasizes the introspective aspect of the technique that she did last time, the heart brain merging, and she's emphasizing that today as something else to pay attention to when you're doing that technique. She didn't quite go into that so specifically or in depth during the last episode. We will talk more about it, more about interoceptive manifestation in my biological medium class and also in future episodes of Spirit Call Out. And I have a workshop on it. So it's a very fun thing to do. So again, if your brain defaults to visualizing yourself or picturing yourself on something in front of you like a screen, simply divert back to your body sitting or lying as you are and just switch the perspective back to being within yourself. And doing that, pulling back each time is the resilience building. It's like a muscle flexing, extending, oscillating back and forth. You keep pulling yourself back in and back in and back in. Suddenly, you find you will not have to do that anymore. You will simply just embody your meditative experiences, period, which will make them all happen faster, no matter who you're getting the teaching from. And you'll be able to go into the meditative state faster as well, because that's even embodied. So that's huge here. Interoceptive manifestation, interoceptive meditation. And now moving on. So, with that technique that we did last week, let's recap. So, what we did was we sat quietly and just did some deep breaths to calm the body at first. When we sit quietly and feel the heart and brain moving toward each other within the body and meeting at the throat, this merges the heart and the brain. So, you sit and feel your heart rising and your brain falling. They can be together or one at a time. It doesn't matter in which order. And it can take as long as you want and just let them merge at the throat. The energy heart is coming up into the throat. The energy brain is moving down into the throat, and they all meet there as a ball of energy. The emphasis is on internal sensation rather than imagining the process from the outside. Again, this is interoceptive embodiment. This distinction is important because the goal is to actually experience the actual organ transitions and transformations during the merging, to feel this within the body, allowing it to become more natural and automatic over time. With deliberate interoceptive techniques, we move physiology beyond the point of physical possibility. Again, there will be another episode focused on this concept, and she, the Neurosurgical Angel, is really emphasizing that right now, which is why I'm repeating it, and she wants me to say it again. With deliberate interoceptive techniques, we move physiology beyond the point of physical possibility, and that's what she is teaching us to do. So feel your heart rising as your brain falls, and together they meet and merge in your throat. This merging feels wonderful, tears of joy welling up, heart sensations swell where the energy heart just rose from. Inspired ideas emerge from where the energy brain just descended from. These may be sensations that you feel. Take time here. The energy displacements of the typical locations of each organ, the heart and the brain in this case, create opening of their functions without limitations. When you displace an organ energetically like this deliberately with intelligent purpose, such as the merging of the energy heart and the energy brain, this creates an opening. See it as the energy heart rising up, opening up the physical heart, the energy brain descending down, opening up where it was before. Little complementary puzzle pieces that are no longer there are little openings for new functions. Even physically, the brain can now function better. Neurological conditions will improve because you've just separated energy and physical for just a moment. You've opened up doorways where the energy was sitting stagnant in the physical tissue. You're now awakening the energy, lifting it, letting it sink down into the throat, and releasing all these openings in the actual physical brain tissue, which enhances the actual physical brain functioning for all neurological disorders. Specifically, she's telling me Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Also, congestive heart failure is something that is helped. All conditions of lymphatic drainage are helped with the heart displacing and rising into the throat, because you're opening up heart tissue that was stagnant with embedded energy that wasn't used. When you lift this up, it opens doorways. She says elliptical doorways. It opens elliptical doorways in the heart tissue that now have new function and can awaken the rest of the heart tissue and the heart muscle to help pump better and effectively decongest the heart, and then after that, start pumping up edema fluid, extracellular fluid, and stagnant fluid from the rest of the bodies, like the legs and the abdomen. Thus, be prepared to have inspired ideas about your career. Be prepared to heal and feel better. Be prepared to feel love and appreciation for things you never thought you could, because you're opening up new energy function too. So now you're going to think and have ideas, and you're going to be happier about where you are in your life and have more love for things that you never thought you could love. Be prepared to forgive things that seem unforgivable before. And as you do, feel your body becoming unburdened physically and energetically. This allows healing. This is what's happening when you merge the energy heart and the energy brain, and just be here and feel this. Relax and breathe here. Take as much time as you wish to feel this process of heart brain synchronization. And once they've synchronized, just allow and sit there and feel it and be it and let it open. And just feel the opening and what's happening. Once the heart and brain feels synchronized, take a deliberate deep in breath. Deep in breath. In breath. On the out breath, let out a relaxed vocal tone of any syllable and any pitch, allowing any natural sound to emerge without forcing pitch or structure, just one even tone like this. Take a deep breath. Let out any syllable. Or oh, whatever feels comfortable. It doesn't matter the pitch, doesn't matter the frequency. It doesn't even matter the stability of the actual vocal wave. Just make it one tone. This sound represents whatever comes out, represents the entrained frequency created by the merging of the emotional intelligence of the heart and the deeper levels of consciousness accessed through the brain's various brainwave states. If your voice trembles as it comes out, that is all right. Keep doing it and let it tremble. The quality of airflow, meaning the stability of air and trembling in the vocal cords. If the vocal cords are unstable, it means the airflow will be disrupted and it will sound like a wavy, not stable vocalization. Whereas if the vocal cords are strong and even, it will sound like a very strong, even, beautiful, flowy vocal tone. The voice will crack if it's unstable. It will be smooth if it's stable. Either way is good. Because if it's unstable, it's indicative of the detoxifying process that is taking place. You're healing your vocal cords for the energy application of voice, which is voicing your truth, voicing your creations, voicing your life experience, and for the physical aspect of pleasure of voice, which is singing. This is a very healing practice for vocal cords in general for singers. This will heal your voice, literally, if you want to be a singer. I'm telling you. She's saying that now. Healing the voice for singing is the beauty of manifestation. It's the beauty of voicing your truth. It's okay to want a beautiful voice, just to feel the joy of being on key. There's so much more I have to say about that in another episode. But for now, allow the air to tremble with your voice. And with that, the voice may sound weak and it may crack, and it's healing, it's detoxifying. As you continue, your voice will get more and more smooth and stable as your vocal cords strengthen, along with the energy healing that's taking place at the level of the throat, which is, mind you, brain and heart. So even if you are a singer and you had a beautifully smooth voice, but during this meditation it's wavering and cracking, that's okay, because you're using your voice for healing. Your voice is filtering what needs to be detoxified from your heart and your brain. It's okay. Doing this will actually heal your vocal cords so you can be a better singer. All right. Each experience may differ because the body, the emotions, and consciousness are always changing. Everything's changing. Health is not a static state of being. It's a balance, a continually balancing process. And this variability in voice is just as necessary as variability in heart rate. It's just as necessary as variability in brainwave frequency state. I am going to have to talk about this more in depth, because I could give hours of a lecture on both heart rate variability, which is a sign of health, and brain wave frequency state variability, which hasn't been studied. But I know from my studies with spirit that it is also a state of health. So we have heart rate variability, brain wave frequency variability, and vocal variability. These are all very important in healing. So that your voice is different, maybe stable, maybe unstable, each time you do this meditation is a sign of health. Okay. A key teaching within this work is that working at the level of energy and consciousness allows change to occur more easily than trying to alter already manifested physical circumstances. When we change things at the level of energy, it is much easier to do that than to trying to change something that's already materialized. By ironing out energetic obstructions, not physical, but energetic obstructions internally with this process internally in the body, new possibilities can emerge externally, both by cellular replication and regeneration of new tissue for healing physically, and by the reorganization of energy particles that create your circumstance as life experience and outcomes. New mental and emotional attitudes arise within us when we do this ironing out. New possibilities, relationships, and solutions become visible outside of us. So, as we change mental and emotional attitudes within us, new possibilities, relationships, solutions, and physical health becomes visible outside of us. The part of our lives that happens outside of our biology is still part of our biology. It's an extension of it, but its emergence is from within. We cannot change what others do or think. We can change, however, our own perception of it to the point where the effects of others are simply moot points in our reality, and thus our lives go on less obstructed. Obstructions will always arise. Challenges are inevitable, but we can use them as mental and emotional gym workouts instead of perceiving them as victimizing events. So, with this technique, we focus on its effects on our own perception, emotional response, and the ability to recognize solutions despite what other people are doing, thinking, or intending, which in turn changes how we interact with life and life situations and become more resilient. Being more resilient is more important than never encountering obstacles. Resilience is where true power lives. Changing one's own reality amidst the chaos of everyone else's is true power. So this technique continues with the visualizing of light moving between the heart and brain and the throat and the lungs. Because now, with the addition of the vocalization of the merged heart and brain at the throat, we take a deep breath, we use the lungs, we exhale. So that's breathing, inhaling out, exhaling. And then we're using the voice to put sound to that breath. And when we do that, it's carried through the air and we can hear it. We hear our own sound, which then internalizes in the organ of the ear and goes through our body through the auditory cortex and then interacts with the rest of the brain. And that way, vocal vibrations conduct through the air, but they also conduct through the body of the one who vocalized the sound. The beholder of the vocal cords receives the most resonant effect of their own vocalization. And the body absorbs these vibrations similar to how air is exchanged in the alveoli of the lungs at the level of the capillaries. All of these vocalizations, the resonant vibrations that conduct through the body, are also absorbed through the capillaries at every point in your whole physical being. Not just at the alveolar ones in the lungs, but through the entire body and the tissues and the muscles and the fascia and all of the organs. So you have alveolar capillary junctions that receive air and exchange molecules with the air, give you oxygen, let out carbon dioxide with in-breath, out-breath, respectively. Vocal vibrations, when you breathe in and out, do the same thing with the vocal vibrations, not the air, but the vocal vibrations are now going in and out of the capillaries as you breathe in and out. Breathing the vocalized vibrations into the muscle, the organs, and all the tissue that isn't lung. That's the power of vocal vibration. We're transferring light with this breath. If you recall from last episode, this transfer of light that we did with breathing in and out, this transfer of light reinforces the merging of the heart-brain energy to diffuse it throughout the entire body as the light current going through your body. It's the merged heart brain energy diffusing through your body as light, supporting both healing and integration of all cell types, organs, tissues, molecular functions, thereby unifying physiology. So the transfer of light through the body in this way, in this meditative practice that we did, unifies physiology. Unifying physiology then translates to a unified consciousness, a unified conscious perception of the self, and a sense of wholeness. Remember, body, mind, spirit. What happens to the body affects the mind, affects the spirit. What happens to the mind affects the body, affects the spirit. What happens to the spirit affects the body, affects the mind. It's all one. They're different perspectives of one. So, not just the body's physiology heals, but the consciousness heals, and the mind and the soul. The resonance created through vocal toning continues even between breaths. Similar to how a crystal bowl continues to vibrate after being struck, resonance carries, it travels. The vocal vibrations are still working through your body, even if the sound they make fades as you pause in between breaths. So it's okay to vocalize something until you run out of breath, take another deep breath and vocalize again, because it's still overlapping with the previous vocal resonance from the previous breath. Vocal vibrations conduct through the air, and we hear them as sound, but they also conduct through the body tissues, as I said before. And in this way, it's sound, but it's inaudible. These inaudible vibrations transfer through your body as inaudible sound. You can't hear it, but you can feel it, and it's different than any other kind of vibration through the body. So take as many deep breaths with exhaled vocal tones as you like. Take as much time here as you like. This technique may be practiced before sleep, allowing the experience to transition into dreaming. Dreams are filtered through the heart. The brainwave frequency states of sleep connect heart power to your life manifestations. The heart is in complement to and connects to deeper states of brain consciousness. So, if you're doing this before sleep, continue the breaths until you fall asleep or simply forget about them as you drift into deeper states of consciousness that lead you to sleep. This technique may also help you sleep if you have difficulty with that. It's a very helpful technique for insomnia because the heart and the brain are connected so closely, it can be the cure for sleep disorder. If you are not doing this meditation before sleep, then upon completion of the vocalizing tones, just allow the breath and the vocalization to fade as you relax more and more. When it simply finishes on its own, make sure to express gratitude to end the practice. Then immediately reflect on the experience, noting any sensations, insights, and possibly journal, sketch, do artwork if you're an artist. Reflect later as well, like later on that evening, particularly noting dreams that night or for the next several nights. Dreams may provide guidance and feedback for your meditation and reveal subconscious patterns or blocks that are released by heart healing. Heart energy heals brain energy. And the reverse is true, believe it or not. Brain energy heals heart energy. We are so used to, as human ego conscious beings, using our brain for cognitive function and tend to hyperfocus on left brain function. However, when we focus on the energy brain and the right brain function, we will experience miracles. We will talk about that in a future episode. Right and left brain function is very applicable to an energy neurosurgeon. Heart brain and brain heart techniques that are taught by this spirit guide sets us up for all energy surgical procedures. And this one is the joining of the heart and the brain. There are many others, but the merging is preparatory for all other energy surgeries and physical surgeries. If you can do this for yourself prior to any surgery in a physical surgical setting, this will prepare your body for the best outcome of that. Connecting the heart and brain does that. It's a very general overall healing connection to connect the three brains of the body. We're focusing on heart brain here. We will include gut at a later point, but the most important to co-join first is heart and brain. This technique demonstrates that vocalized sound, vibrations, and meditation together support neurological balance and healing. The heart and brain can be intentionally synchronized energetically and surgically conjoined to heal and aid in manifesting of true desires only. True desires are the ones that are of good purpose and for the good of all and that harm none. This is vibrational law. Now we are transitioning topics from healing with meditation and vocalized sound to healing with crystals. We are going to combine crystals with meditation, and we are going to combine crystals with vocal sound. By combining crystals with vocalized sound through a technique, it automatically recruits the meditation piece because we are focused on the method that we're doing the technique. So we're really embodying the meditation, the sound, but now we're adding the crystals. The Neurosurgical Angel says to me, now, if she could go back and do it over in her physical practice, she would have used white crystal singing bowls on her patients. After logically determining their plan of care with pure medical knowledge. She says the crystal sound then embeds the medical logic as its parallel energy logic into the patient, and the two work together. The two being the physical plan and the energy plan. The entrainment of the two act together for the best outcome for the patient. She says if she had known then what she knows now, she would have embedded all of her plans into her patients energetically with sound using the crystal bowl, a white quartz crystal singing bowl. And she emphasizes this to me as the main crystal to use for human beings for most general healing practices because of its power to embed energy that was just announced or affirmed as physical planning. That quartz crystal has that connective property as bridging what you physically just say or do or plan or embark upon as a healing venture in true goodwill of love intention. It has to be a loving and true, authentic will. If it's true and good, it is embedded as working somehow. It'll entrain its way into working, even if it was a flawed plan, even if it wasn't the exact plan of medical action that we always don't know as doctors. But as long as it's put forth with sound logic of at least knowing the physical aspects of medicine and loving intention, the crystal sound of the white quartz crystal singing bowl embeds that into the patient to work. It'll take whatever the effort was in the medical field and then train it with the sound of infinite possibility, and it will work better, more efficiently, and faster in the patient or client or person being healed, which I call the heal E. She says in order to do this, having a medical degree is necessary, and having real training in energy healing is necessary, and the loving intention is necessary. But all of them are necessary to really work for the most efficient manner. So you don't have to be a doctor, but having real authentic training in a specialty of healing and training in energy healing that you need to be trained in these things and a loving heart, you're good to go. And it'll always work as long as it's with love. Anything you do will always work if you put love into it. However, it works best for an actual healing practice of some kind to when you get clients and they pay for your time. She says to really put the effort into learning your medical specialty. Doesn't have to be doctor. It can be physical therapy. It can be massage. It can be, um, all these different kinds of things, a yoga practice, whatever you're doing that's healing for people. And then training with energy, getting an energy healer to help train you in focusing energy in different ways. And she says to use this podcast, use me, use her. And then loving intention. That will be the way you actually get a real practice out of this. But again, healing yourself, you just need love. Really, love is the biggest, most powerful force in the universe. Okay, so before we go on to the crystal method, I just wanted to remind you of the initial image I received of the neurosurgical angel when she came to me that very first day in green surgical scrubs, showed the crystal singing bowl. And I just told you why she used crystal quartz singing bowls. Again, we activate and then embody the energy parallel of the physical healing with vocalized sound from our own vocal cords. So we embody what we physically do. We embody that energetically with vocalized sound. And then we direct it to the specific part of the body and the specific quality that we want on that part of the body with the crystal. So crystal localizes, vocalized sound embeds. It's very embedding because it's conductive through tissue. Sound actually conducts through walls. It conducts through matter. It conducts through water. It conducts through air. Sound needs a medium through which to conduct. It must go through things. Light, on the other hand, does not. Light actually can go through a vacuum. It does not need a medium. Sound is medium dependent, which is why we use sound in order to heal the body because it conducts through the tissues. If you stood in front of a light, you would block the light from going through you. All the way anyway. It would go through you to some extent. But sound has a way of conducting through the molecular chains and shapes and geometries of your molecular, atomic, and subatomic makeup, tracing every little bit of your makeup and thus adjusting it with the intention of love, your own signature vocal sound, and the crystal and the effort of the healing you're putting forth. So this is all conducted through your tissues to such a fine degree. Sound is just the most healing vibration for the human body. Animals use it too, and she goes into that in great deal in another episode. Animals use this differently, and it's in their genetics to just do it innately. The howling of wolves, the calling of animals, the call of the wild. This is all done in order to heal, and we discuss this again in a separate episode. I want to reiterate the fact that the Neurosurgical Angel says that crystal singing bowls support the healing of neurologic and neurosurgical conditions. So she's likening quartz crystal singing bowls with neurological problems. You don't have to have a disease or a problem. If you want neurological work on your body or central nervous system calming or any kind of nervous system aspect of yourself calmed or just attended to for some reason, a quartz crystal singing bowl will help. However, she has us activating them differently than with the wand. That's what this sound meditation technique today with crystals is. She is not going to have us activate the crystal singing bowl with a wand. She is going to have us place a crystal itself, hopefully a quartz crystal is what she would like for the first practice of this. You can use any type of crystal you want, but the most general one for the human being, for the embedding of the intention, is quartz crystal. You place it on your body at the site you want healed, and then you use your vocal cords to activate it. Activating crystals with vocal cords is the most powerful way to activate crystals for healing. And it's the most specific and unique way to activate the crystal towards the one who vocalized the sound. Crystals are unique in that they will resonate their healing powers to the beholder of the vocals of the one who initiated the vocal sound. She prefers you to use a quartz crystal. Any size will do. She asks you to first place it on your heart because you are going to merge the heart and the brain again with crystal energy vocal activated by vocal sound. She asks you to put the quartz crystal on your heart while you're lying in a supine position, which means on your back. You may also be seated and reclined a little bit so that the crystal will remain on your chest, right over your heart, the left side of your chest. Take a deep breath. You may hold the crystal there with your hands if you like. That's okay. Take a deep breath. And like you did in the last meditation, just let out any comfortable sound for as long as you can, for as long as you exhale. And you may repeat that as many times as you like. And again, notice any instability in the airflow of the vocalized sound. This indicates simply the detoxifying effect of what you're doing on your body. Again, this is healing for the vocal cords and it's healing for the heart energy at the same time. You can do all the vocal training you want, but when you also couple vocal training with heart healing, and then also couple vocal training with brain healing, you get different aspects and peripheral aspects of your vocal cord stability and ability opening up. You'd be surprised. Even if it isn't a difficult pitch in a high range or a really low range, it doesn't matter. This is more a dimensional thing. It's not a high or a low thing. It's a dimensional thing that you can't reach with just trying to get high and low pitches that we perceive in the physical atmosphere as high frequency in hertz or low frequency in hertz. This is interdimensional qualities of vocal training. And that is in a separate episode as well, as you might have guessed. So do this as many times as you like. And then simply take the crystal and place it on your forehead. And then do the same thing. Take a deep breath and let out a sound, any sound, activating the crystal while it's on your forehead, noticing the difference between the two sensations. Now, we are not merging the heart and the brain first and then putting the crystal on the throat, which is a different technique that we can go over in a different time. Right now, what I'd like you to find, what I'd like you to discover is the ability of crystals healing peripheral organs that aren't on the throat directly, but they can be activated by vocal vibrations in the throat. I want you to feel that resonant effect of peripheral healing. You're placing the crystal on your heart and activating it with vocal vibrations that are in your throat. Whereas before in the meditation technique, we merged the heart and the brain at the throat and then activated them all together at the throat. And we felt oneness. Remember, we felt unification of physiology. We felt unification of brain, heart, and voice. Now I want you to feel the healing effects of your vocal cords, two things that are peripheral to their anatomical location. Through the crystal. The crystal is going to be activated through the vocal vibrations that conduct through your body, right from the vocal cords. They conduct through your laryngeal tissue, all the way down through your throat, through your trachea, through all of your organs and tissues and fascia, all the way down into the heart. And they come up through your body and they vibrate the crystal. The crystal's also activated by the sound resonance of your voice that goes through the air and then contacts them through the air. So the crystals are being activated by your physical body and by your vocal signature that's going through the air. It's being doubly activated. I want you to trust that placing a crystal peripherally away from your vocal cords can still be activated by your vocal cords and have very profound healing effects at that location that you place the crystal. She's given me very precise instructions here. Okay, now you're repeating the same thing with the crystal on your forehead. Feel the effects on your forehead, physically and consciously, because now this is on your cranial brain. And when you did it on your heart, feel the effects physically and emotionally. So you're going to feel emotional effects at the heart. You'll feel cognitive ideas, creative energy awaken with the head. You place it right on your forehead and then take a deep breath, let out any sound, and feel the activation of the crystal all the way up on your forehead from the vocal vibrations that are coming from the throat. Again, they're going within and activating the crystal from body tissue up into the crystal, and the vocal vibrations are coming through the air and activating the crystal that way as well. It's doubly activated. I want you to feel these peripheral effects on your body. Just feel them and know that you've just activated the heart and activated the brain physically and energetically for both through the peripheral effects of vocal vibrations on crystals. I want you to do this to get general healing with a quartz crystal. A white quartz crystal gives general healing for both nervous systems, the heart nervous system and the brain nervous system, the heart brain, the cranial brain. First, we want general healing and detoxifying. Then we can go specific with different types of crystals, which will be more than one episode. This will be other episodes to go over those kinds of things. And also, I do that in the workshop. So I want you to just continue breathing and feeling effects of the crystals until you feel the momentum fade And then you can simply just allow your breath to be relaxed without any sound. Take note of any emotional feelings and physical feelings at both the heart and the brain. But I want you to also pay attention to your stability, the quality of the airflow through your vocal cords as you breathe and voice. And if you tire of vocalizing, simply just breathe. And then when you feel relaxed, when you start to feel that things are settling down, and then it's time to give gratitude. Giving gratitude can close any healing practice. If you don't know how to do it gracefully, like a guru of some sort, it's okay. Just say thank you. You can also ask, is there anything else? Wait for a moment, a breath or two. And if you feel nothing else, just say thank you. To be continued. And you can simply remove the crystals, thank the crystals. And this is the second technique. It'd be really great to hear from you on how these techniques helped you. I want to thank you for listening to Spirit Call Out. And until next time, I wish you joy. Thank you for joining me for Spirit Call Out. To see images or any visuals that go along with this episode, and to discover more about me and my work, please visit www.osteopathicwell.com. Don't forget to check out Spirit Call Out on the Human Communion YouTube channel that also posts each and every episode. And until next time, I wish you joy.